Hey guys, this is Eric with Water Heating Experts, and what I'm going to show you today is we have a non-working water heater with no hot water. Most likely it's the elements, so we are going to show you how to change elements on a hot water heater. First thing we're going to do is locate the breaker box over here, and we're going to find the breaker that's associated with the water heater, and I'm going to turn that off. So I'm going to do that right now. See, it's kind of over here. Usually it's marked. So we're gonna look here, water heater 11 and 13. And I'm gonna find 11 and 13 on the breaker box. And I'm gonna turn it off. Okay, so now the breaker is off on the water heater and we're good. I'm gonna leave that open. And make sure nobody tampers with it, nobody does anything. I can see it, it's gonna stay off. And not only that, I'm not gonna trust that that's the right breaker. I'm gonna test the electricity and make sure that we're not getting electricity to the water heater. Okay, now that my breaker's off, we are gonna test the water heater to make sure that this is off with a tester. I'm gonna just take this screw off. And I'm gonna make sure that we don't have power on. Getting a green light, that's perfect. No power to the water heater. I'm gonna go ahead and show you with the breaker over here. I'm gonna turn it back on. Now we have power. You don't want to touch this. So back over, turn off the breaker. We're good. No power, so we're safe to work on the water heater. I'm going to confirm again, power's off. And these two panels hold the elements. The elements are inside. We'll just take these off with a drill. Remove the insulation. There's our element, which I'm going to be testing. Just make sure we have no power here. And I'm going to remove 2 wires from the element. Now I'm going to take a multimeter and I'll put it on the continuity setting. And this will buzz a little alarm, everything's working. Okay, so the top element is fine. So what I have a feeling is that we are not getting, I think the lower element is out. So we're going to test that next. Now we've tested this one, element is working properly. We're going to test the lower element, which is right here. We're going to follow the same process. Take off the cover, take off the insulation. We'll go ahead and test this again, just to be sure. We're good. Remove the lead. Put the continuity and test continuity on the element. You can hear that. We don't hear a buzz. We have no continuity. This is a problem element. So what we're going to show you next is how to replace them. We're going to go ahead and replace both since we're draining the tank completely. So we're going to replace both of these elements. One that's out plus this one. Now, in order to get these elements out, we need to drain the tank. So what I'm going to do, I have a hose, and I'm hooking it to a pump. We do this all the time, so we need to drain it quicker. If you have plenty of time, you can put a hose on it, let it drain, and 4 hours, 5 hours, however long it takes, how clogged up it is, you can change the elements after the tank's drained. So we normally do this with full pressure, so the pressure helps push out the clog. So you can notice here there's an old style drain. It's type that they get on a Home Depot water heater, Lowe's water heater. kind of a less expensive drain, and they're very difficult to drain. So we're going to try this full pressure and see if we can get this water heater to drain. I'm going to hook up the hose here. Just need to get it hand tight, and then we'll turn this. And we can hear it running. Okay, so it sounds to me like we've got this draining very nicely. I'm going to go outside and check the hose next, just to make sure that everything is drained properly. Now, I'm outside the home, and I've located the main water shutoff to the home. I'm going to use this because there's an old style valve on the water heater that I'm not confident that works, and I don't want to mess with it. So I'm going to use this ball valve. I'm going to turn it, and I have shut off the main water to the home. Now, if you live up north, probably not outside. It'll be inside your basement, inside a crawl space. You need to locate that, shut off the main water, and now what we're going to do is go back inside, plug in our pump, and drain the water. Now that the water is turned off to the home, there's not a lot of pressure in the tank. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug in this pump, and it's going to pump out the rest of the water out of the water heater. Now, the water heater is drained. Took about 25-30 minutes with the pump. This is an 80-gallon water heater, 4,500 watt elements. So that's the other thing. When you replace your elements, you're going to look here and make sure that you use the same type of element, the same wattage. This is 4,500. We're going to replace it with another 4,500 watt element. This is the top element. I'll replace that. I'll show you how to do that, and we'll do it back. This one was fine. Looks like it's in good condition. But we have the tank drained. We're going to go ahead and replace it with a new one. Right here. There we go. There's a new element. Put it in. Don't really need any pipe dope or thread sealant. It has a rubber gasket. We'll start with hand tight. Now you don't want to get these too tight, especially with a wrench like this. You can get it really tight. You don't really need to. Just get it where you feel kind of snug, like that. Get it snug and you're good. We're going to put the wrench up, and we're going to go ahead and reconnect these wires. Little slots here. You need to really make sure that these go in and don't pull out. So we're going to make sure we're going to give them a little tug after we're done. So we're going to make sure we get a good connection there. And I want to tug on that. I want to make sure that I don't have a loose connection. You can see like that. And here again, you come in, hold the wire in. Okay, now the top element has been replaced. Next, we'll show you how to do the bottom element. Now, we're at the bottom element. I'm going to use the same wrench. A little tighter than that one. I'll show you this. You can see where the element is broken and exposed. That element is not any good. So we are going to replace that and follow the same process. Start on the hand. Snug. Get the wires. There's a little slot there. Make sure it goes underneath and sticks underneath the screw. Give it a little tug. Bring it more tight. As you can see that. Say one. This is what would happen if you tug it loose. You do not want that. Okay, now that we have the elements installed, we can go ahead and fill this water heater again. And what we're going to do is go in and open up one faucet, preferably a bathtub or a laundry sink, because it's going to stir up some sediment We don't want that in our kitchen faucets. We don't want any kind of really nice faucet. So we're going to open that faucet in the home, and we're going to turn our main water back on and refill the tank. So now the elements have both been replaced. We have the water back on in the house, and we have purged out the water out of a laundry sink inside the house. So we just turned it on, we let all this water run and push out the air out of the tank, and we flushed out all the sediment and everything into a laundry sink, and we ran the other faucets in the home. So now, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and turn the power back on, and we're going to test this water heater. So I'm leaving this open. Be careful. Power is going to be live here. You don't want your kids, you don't want anybody out here where they're touching it. I know not to touch it, so I'm going to leave it alone. I'm going to turn this on, and then we're going to test the power and make sure that we're good. I'm going to go back over here to the breaker box. My breaker that's off. I'll turn that back on. Now, to show you, we should have power here. We do. And what I'm going to test is the voltage. Make sure what voltage we're getting to the elements. Step over here. Again, this is open, so you don't want to touch any of this at all. Only with your multimeter. So we are getting 246, 244. That's fine. So that's the proper element to turn on first. We now have power and everything is operating properly. We go back and turn off the breaker, put back the cover, put back the insulation, and at that point, the water heater is good. So I will do that next. Now, when we know that the water heater is working properly, I'm going to put back the cover that covers the electrical, and then on the back, on the top, insulation. So I'll cover here. You just go ahead and test again. No power. I don't want to touch any of this. So here we go. Put this back. Snaps on like that. Take the cover. And get started. Get the insulation back in. I'm going to repeat the process on the lower element. The bottom cover in the test, make sure everything's good. No power. Go ahead and put this back on as well. A little difficult sometimes to put back on, but okay, bottom cover is back on, top's back on. So this water heater is ready to go. We can turn the power back on. Now, both covers back on here. We're good to go. Everything has been tested. And what I'm going to do next is just turn on the breaker. And after that, the water will start heating. The customer will have hot water in 25 to 30 minutes. And we're going to do that now. Breaker's on. Here comes the breaker box. And we'll put our label on here so that customer knows that they can contact us again with any issues. And this water heater is I'm looking at the serial number. Looks like it's 2008 is the manufacturer date on it. So this is due to be replaced. Looks like it's in good condition, no leakage, but probably should be replaced in the next few months. And we'll let the customer know that. And we'll be glad to replace this with a new unit. Replace this, replace the ball valves, everything back to the way it was. This was a good installation at the time, and we will modernize it. In another video, we'll show you how to change the thermostats on the water heater and also how to install a water heater. So for now, that's how to change elements. If you have any questions, please comment below.